Welcome to Work and Play with Jamie Joyce. In today's workout, we're going to focus on the pelvic floor muscles and the deep core. You don't need any equipment today, but if you do have a yoga mat, feel free to bring it along. Let's get to work. All right, we're going to start this workout down on the floor. We're going to do 4 exercises 3 times through. This is level 1. So once you finish this video, if you find it wasn't quite enough, you can always try the level 2 video. This is your starting point. So let's come down to the floor. So first of all, if you're wondering if you even need to do these exercises, you should start by doing a little test to see if you have any abdominal separation. This often happens after we have children. We love those babies, but sometimes they wreak some havoc on our bodies. So how we're going to do this is we're going to do a little test with our fingers to test for abdominal separation. So you're going to bend your knees, you're going to just lift your head, and then you're going to use your fingers and feel in between your abdominals. And if you feel a separation in between the abdominal wall here, you can test it with your fingers. And if you have a 2 or 3 finger gap, then that's an indicator that you have an abdominal separation. And then that means that you shouldn't be doing traditional exercises for your core like crunches or sit-ups, because it can actually cause more damage. So you should start with these kinds of exercises to build that pelvic floor. All right, so let's start with exercise number 1, which is actually just going to be some deep diaphragm breathing. And what we're going to do here is we're really going to focus on the lower abdominals, the pelvis area. And when we breathe in, we're really going to squeeze into that low belly and exhale, blow it out and release. So focusing on kind of breathing in, clenching, and bringing those muscles back together, and on the exhale, releasing and exhale. So let's try that again. Breathe in, and we're not just sucking in here, we're really focusing on the squeezing into those muscles, and exhale, release. Breathe in, big squeeze, and exhale, release. And believe it or not, even just simple breathing exercises can help. Breathe in because you're contracting the muscle, and release, exhale. Again, breathe it in, contract, and exhale. Again, breathe it in, contract, and hold it, release. One more time, breathe in, and release, exhale. Okay, so in the next 3 exercises, I want you to focus on what that squeeze felt like in that lower pelvis area, and you're gonna hold that while we're doing these other moves. So the next exercise is a pelvic tilt. This is not a huge move here, but again, we're going to use those lower abdominals, the deep core, pelvic muscles, and we're gonna squeeze and we're gonna slightly tilt our pelvis. So just a little pelvic tilt. So imagine here's your pelvis in here, and we're just gonna slightly tilt it forward and tilt it back. While we do that, we're going to have that squeeze that we had while we were doing our diaphragm breathing. So here we go. We're going to lift, slight tilt, and down. Not a huge movement here, but we're really engaging those deep pelvic core muscles, and down. So one thing that you don't want to do if you have that abdominal separation is put a lot of strain on the abdominal muscles. So I'm still doing my pelvic tilts while we're talking, and doing any crunches, sit-ups, those kinds of things can actually make that a lot worse. We're just going to stay here and tilt, squeeze, and down. You can still continue that breathing while you do this, and that can help you to make sure that you're really squeezing. So it's just a little lift in the pelvis, and then come down. The low back is staying on the floor, and down. Lift, squeeze, and down. Keep going here. Lift, little lift. So it's a little tilt in the pelvis, and down. Again, lift, squeeze, and down. Good work. Lift, and down. Couple more here. You might be starting to feel a little bit of heat in the stomach, and down. One more time. Lift, squeeze. Focusing on that squeeze every time. Every time you do that little pelvic tilt, you're squeezing into those deep muscles. This is a great starting point to start to heal those muscles so that eventually you can get into traditional abdominal exercises like crunches. Squeeze, one more here, and down. Great work. Okay, you can shake that out for a second. We're going to come into a heel slide. So again, focusing on that lower tummy, squeezing it in. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to slide one leg out. So slide it down. And you're going to feel a little bit of tension here, and you're going to use that low belly, pull it back up. Slide it down, keeping this part nice and tight. Pull back up. Tighten up here, down. Pull back up. Keep it tight, down. Pull back up. Low back is planted right on the mat. And pull it back up. Good job. Keep that tension here, down. Pull it back up. Good work. Couple more here. Down. Pull it back up. Good job. It feels simple, or it seems simple, but as soon as you start doing these moves, you really do feel it in that area. Pull it back up. Good job. One more time. And pull it back up. Great job. Okay. You can give that a little shake. Then we're going to do the next move. So we're going to start with the knees up here. And again, lower back planted on the floor. We're going to do some toe taps. So squeezing into the low abs here, we're going to tap that foot down and back up. Tap it and squeezing into that lower abdominal area and down. Tap it, bring it back. Good job. Bring it back up. Tap, bring it back. So I recommend doing these exercises probably about 3 times a week until you start to strengthen those muscles again. Then you can move on to my level 2 video and do that for a couple of weeks and see how you feel at that point. Good job. And you can always do that little test to see where you are, how your abdominal separation is doing. And always a good idea to talk to a doctor before you start any new fitness program. Good job. Tap it down, squeezing into the low abs. A couple more here. One more on either side. Last one. Tap it down. Good job. Okay, hug the knees in here. Little rock back and forth. Little rest before we repeat those exercises one more round. Sorry, 2 more rounds. I said 3 times. All right, good job. Okay, we're going to come back to that pelvic tilt. So again, focusing on that breathing, and we tilt, just slightly tilt it up and release. Tilt and squeeze and release. So imagining your whole pelvis just slightly tilting up and down. And while you're doing that, you're squeezing everything inside and down. Squeeze and release. Big squeeze and relax. Good job. Squeeze and relax. Big squeeze and relax. Good. So after each pregnancy of mine, I certainly had abdominal separation, but after my 4th baby, I had a quite severe abdominal separation, and I had to do all of these exercises in order to be able to heal before I could move into my regular routine with the core exercises. A couple more here and down. One more time, squeeze and release. Good job. Okay, we're going to come right into those heel slides. So again, keeping that lower core tight, slide the heel out and bring it back. Squeezing into that lower tummy, slide that out, bring it back. Slide, low back stays planted on the floor and bring it back. Slide and bring it back. You should feel a tightness in that low belly. So that's what we want. So touch down here, and you should feel in the core that there is something tight. And we want to keep that nice and tight while we're doing this. And the low back is planted. Slide it down and back. And we're working on those pelvic core muscles, pelvic floor muscles, and our deep core. Good job. Couple more here and back. Slide it down and back. Good work, we're almost there. And if you find at this point this feels like too much for you, depending on if you just had a baby or something, you might find that this is enough. 2 sets, 2 rounds is enough, and you can stop. And if you feel like you can still do a few more, you can join us for the 3rd round. 1 more here. Good work. You have to listen to your body, especially when you're healing. Okay, come up for those heel toe taps. Good job. Tap it down. So the low back is planted. We're not crunching. We're just squeezing into the low abs here, using our lower core muscles to lift. Good work. And if this ever feels like too much, you can always take a little break for a moment, relax, breathe, and then come back into it. Good job. Keep it up. We're almost there. Good work. Take it down and back. Bring it back. Good work. A few more here. Take it down. Breathe it in. And last one, good job. Hug those knees in, rock from side to side. Relax for a moment. This is your little rest before we come into the last round of those moves. All right. Okay, we're going to come back to the top here with those pelvic tilts, but remember that diaphragm breathing. So if you need to, you can take a pause and just come back to that breath for a moment and make sure that you're still engaging where you should. So every time you breathe out, it's like you're opening up. Then when you breathe in, squeezing those muscles back together. Okay, here we go. Back into those pelvic tilts. So squeeze it up and down. So you may not see much of movement here as you're watching this video, but if you can imagine, my pelvis is slightly tilting up and coming back down, and I'm squeezing into my lower abdominal area, deep into that pelvic area, almost right down to my back. I feel it everywhere. Squeezing. It's almost like when you're doing a Kegel exercise and you're just squeezing everything into that area. That's what the squeeze should feel like. And down. Big squeeze. Take it down. And squeeze. And down. Good work. We're almost there. Keep it up. You got this. We have to walk before we can run. So this is us healing the muscles before you move forward. Good job. 2 more here. We have to strengthen those deep muscles to help us repair any damage. And squeeze. Last one. Squeeze. Good job. Okay, right into those heel slides. Slide that foot down, keeping that lower abdominal engaged, keeping the ribs nice and sealed. Good job. Take it down and back. Slide it down. Bring it back. Good work. You've got this. We're almost there. Stick it out to the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have a level 2 video available as well. And then once you've progressed through these moves and these exercises and you feel that you've healed, maybe after you've consulted with your doctor, then you can move on to some core exercises that I have on my channel as well. I also have postpartum exercises and prenatal exercises, all on Work and Play with Jamie Joyce. So make sure you subscribe and you'll see all the latest videos. We're almost there. 1 more here. Take it there. Come back. Good job. All right, let's come into those toe taps. So squeezing into the lower abs, tap it down, bring it back. Tap it down, bring it back. Bring it back. Good work. So leave a comment on this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought, how you made out. Good job. We're almost there. Tap it down, squeezing into those lower abdominals. Tap it down, bring it back. A few more here. We're almost there. You got this. Might be starting to feel some intensity, some heat. We're strengthening here. Almost there. You got it. Tap it, bring it back. Tap it, bring it back. Nice work. Keep breathing. Good job. All right, almost there. One more either side. Take it down, bring it back. Last one. Good work. All right, to come to a seated position, you can roll over on your side and push yourself back up to a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Feel free to move on to level 2 and then let me know what you thought. Take care.